Some tricks are gimmicky, and some tricks are a cooler solution to an already simple problem. Hello guys, my name is NaToSaphiX. Today we have another video, and this time it is 3 fresh and new unused ideas that I'd love to see at the Blast Paris CSGO Major. For the first trick today, this is a sort of reinvented A execute on the overpass. Get stuck against this bench and put your crosshair here. Jump throw the Molotov when you hit the first stair. After throwing the Molotov, immediately get into this position and line up like so. This smoke is going to smoke off stairs perfectly, but still leave the Molotov burning in front. Because of how quickly the smoke pops, this makes it a very explosive A execute, and with the Molotov burning in front, it makes it much harder for any CTs rotating in to make it up to the bomb site. In fact, you might even hear them if you're forward in banana when they're burning in the Molotov. Pair this up with the standard entry flash and you have a very nice one-man execute that just absolutely destroys the CT defense. This next trick is much more complex to explain, and it's one that I cooked up back in Nordavind in 2020, 3-4 years ago. I've still yet to see a single pro team do this tactic, and in fact I've never even employed it myself, as most of my in-game leaders were unwilling to try it out. I still see huge potential in this tactic, and that's why I'm now passing on the baton to you viewers or any pro teams watching who think this could be a good idea to try out. Before I show you the trick, we're going to have to talk a little bit of theory about nuke before it really makes sense. One of the toughest tactics to play against as CT on D nuke is a very fast and explosive A main take, as you will have one A player holding hot, the other holding door, and if they're not aware that someone can be A main in this moment, they might just die in the back. Should one or more of the A players fall, Ts are going to be flooding out through door and hot, and the site is lost completely. A retake on the A bomb site is also very tough. So to counter a fast A main split, what top teams do on the CT sides is having one guy playing this angle called rain, where you can hold main, or playing behind CT blue and checking main with flashes, or they might even have the AWP playing up behind the demon box, which is this red box, and holding the pixel gap. Now what if I told you I had a very explosive counter that kinda nullifies all 3 positions at once? Get stuck behind the box here towards T-spawn, look up from the corner and follow the line up, crouch down in between these 2 wires and stand up, then do a regular jump throw, and then have a teammate close main who on a good timing throws down the Molotov that immediately gets put out by the smoke. This smoke eliminates the demon angle, the CT blue angle, and in fact even the rain angle, so that you can now fight inside main and even top of hot with cover in your back. With the perfect timing on the smoke and the Molotov, this is as explosive as they come, and there's no telegraphing or any tell for the CT that this is coming, as the smoke gets thrown from so damn far away that there is no smoke throwing sound, and the Molotov with perfect timing will only be on the ground for about half a second. A proposal for a tactic is having 2 guys throwing this start smoke on the outside, then running behind the smoke and over behind main called Africa. This is where they'll stay until they are ready with the Molotov, where they will move out, throw the Molotov and commit to the A main split. The way I picture it would be that you ideally have your AWP throwing this smoke from way downtown, and then having 2 rifles ready in either hot or door together, ready to react off the contact from the A main players. This tactic also has fake options, as this Molotov can be thrown from behind main with a walking underhand jump throw that still doesn't leave many sound cues, or just from the start of outside. You can also in fact bounce it on the left wall here that also lands, but again it will create a sound cue. Another reason why I think this tactic has a lot of promise and potential is because you can decide where you want to throw the smoke from, you can decide how you want it thrown, you can throw it like I do here a little bit further back so it creates more space for you to go and clear main effectively. This one for example leaves a gap on the left that would even allow you to lurk towards under heaven. Just like the old commercials for this weird thing called magic sand, this smoke can be used again and again, and I see many different uses for it as well. Here, imagine throwing the smoke and it landing here in the Molotov instead. With a smoke under heaven, it will allow you to basically only have to fight main, and then being able to go through this smoke and get to CT blue unnoticed from the rain position. Try it out, my friends, get creative, and I bet you that there are many more variations that I haven't thought about yet. You can be the first ones to think about it, and I'd love to see it in a video. Make sure to tag me. What is so phenomenal about this tactic, in my opinion, is that it's so simple. It just only takes a Molotov and a smoke, and if you do this as the ending in your round, you can do a normal wall of smokes, for example, which might cause a rotation down from the door player and give you even more space on the A bomb side. The possibilities are close to endless, but this is an ending of a round that I would love to see a top tier team pull off. Moving over to our third and final trick, we are over on DE Ancient, and this is yet another trick where I'm gonna have to touch on a little bit of theory for it to make sense before I show you the completed trick. I have left this trick for last as it is by far the most gimmicky of the three, but before we get into that, let me just touch on a little bit of theory about how DE Ancient was played and is played. So before the CTs had their spawns moved slightly, CTs were always throwing this Molotov to deny the Ts from taking fast cave control. With the CT spawn having been moved slightly back, the best spawn for the Ts can actually throw this very impactful Molotov that basically straight up wins you cave control before the CTs are able to get there. The adaptation that CTs in top tier teams have made to counter this now very powerful Molotov from the Ts is that instead of throwing a Molotov here, they will throw down an HE or maybe even get their teammate to double HE with them, which not only deals damage to the Ts, but it also slows them, which allows the CT, if he doesn't have the front spawn, to have a more fair duel for the cave control. Hitting the T with a single HE dealing 30 to 40 damage and with a slowing effect is a massive win, but doublenating him down to roughly 20 HP means that the CT almost undoubtedly wins cave control, which is absolutely critical for CTs on the Ancient. This nade stack leaves the Ts with one of two options: either eat the damage and try to fight for cave control anyway, or run along the right side wall, which allows you to not get any damage but still delays you a lot as you are no longer running in a straight line. I propose a admittedly pretty crazy alternative where you get stuck in this corner, put your crosshair like this, hold D until you hit the middle of the X, and then you jump throw. This Molotov lands lightning quick and burns off the passage that the CT has to go through if he decides to fight for cave control. This forces the CT to make a decision. Does he want to fight for cave control and actively play in front of this burning Molotov, or does he want to give it up early and just play back? The reason why this could be advantageous is that this normal Molotov that the Ts throw can be turned off with a smoke in the corner, but if the CT wants to turn off the Molotov in the passage, he will end up smoking himself off and he will have to give up the space almost no matter what. I have tested the timing, and for the CT to kind of be forced to make a decision, you have to throw this Molotov with the front spawn, otherwise it will land behind him, locking him in, which I guess could also have some use. Say the CT is running through this passage, throwing the standard Molotov, and then for the T side, they throw the Molotov that locks him in, turns this off, waits for a flash, boom, comes, and he goes in and clears this area. Now either the CT is locked inside cave or he has to give up the space, and this all without the front spawn of the Ts having to take the brunt of the nade stack damage that we talked about earlier. So how it would look is that the front spawn would be throwing the Molotov. The second and third guy would be a pair, turning off the Molotov from the CTs and going in with the flash, and the front spawn who originally threw the Molotov would come over and throw this flash to help facilitate cave control. So that was 3 fresh and unused tricks that I would love to see used at the Blast Paris CSGO Major. Please leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you haven't. My name is NaToSaphiX, and thank you so much for watching the video.